Once upon a time, I was all alone. How you like me now? Do I turn you on? Now I got you drunk, I can put the ball. Show me what you want, give me what you want. I'ma make you mine, get you on the floor. Watch me go to work, I put on a show. Now I got you drunk, I can put the ball. Show me what you want, give me what you want. Once upon a time, I was all alone. How you like me now? Do I turn you on? Now I got you drunk, I can put the ball. Show me what you want, give me what you want.
Still going? We missed the timing.
I stopped mine.
Missed the timing window.
I stopped it.
Just missed the window.
What do you mean? It's early.
Missed the window. I was right on cue.
No,
Beat it.
it's
Shit.
it's still a minute.
Hit the camera switched.
Still a minute.
Right as the beat hit.
Still a minute. So, folks, what's up? My house is pretty
Barely a home.
pretty barren,
It's a house
right?
without a home.
Right? Yeah. So my wall, my couch, my light post lamp, all I got basically is my internet, computer, and games, and I have one TV hooked up. So, yeah. I'm getting ready to move, guys. And we got the last episode of Frag Logic before I move to Raleigh. I leave Thursday. I should be back for the show on the 27th. We'll see. But if not, I'm hoping Colin can hold it down, and I'll try to get on the show via my phone. So yeah, today we got a lot of stuff. I had initially wrote everything for the show on Friday and Saturday, and then like within 2 days, it was like Google, Twitch. What else was there? There was hold on, I got another one. Dota 2 Compendium, and I had Steam stuff. There was a pretty good article there. There was Microsoft news talking about what they want to do with the Xbox One, and Phil Spencer saying some stuff on Twitter. So it's just a lot of stuff that kind of happened. We got some game announcements, Far Cry 4. We got The Crew. Just a lot of stuff this weekend. But we're going to start off with our weekend gaming, talking about the games that we played this weekend. I didn't play a whole lot of really anything.
Before you start, let's make a call. Your mic was fine the whole time. Now you got some robot stuff going on.
What? Colin, you're perfectly fine on my end.
The chat can attest to it. There's some robot stuff.
It's all
like
you.
A weird static thing every like 10 seconds or so.
If everyone,
I'm gonna call you back, all right?
Okay, everyone on YouTube they're gonna be like, oh man, flawless, guys. It was flawless. Flawless. I'm flawless over here. What's up, Kupo? Nemo? Is that modded? What's up, Chris? Geo, son. Okay. You have no camera though.
Weekend game. Really? Camera.
All right, so weekend games for me. Not a whole lot that I played. I played some Titanfall. Here and there. Played the DLC, which was pretty rushed actually. I think I played with you, Colin. I think Sean was playing with his Phobos and maybe Carrington. That was the most I played, was like 2 hours, and then I played for like part of a stream. I played for another like 2 hours, and then I played by myself right before we started for like an hour. Played some Minimum, Spelltronic. That's the mobile game I was telling you guys about, and then I played the Super Hot demo. Super Hot. It's actually pretty good, surprisingly so.
That's really old, by the way.
I mean, it was just, that's just what I played. Those are my games. What about you?
Titanfall.
Lethal.
And also, I was trying to boot it up. See, I was trying to do it all smooth.
Titanfall. Some Titanfall.
Do our usual trend of showing, damn it, some Titanfall.
Whew. You played a lot of Titanfall.
And this awesome game that isn't Titanfall, that's not, has slow loading times, is what the takeaway is. So yeah, ping pong on phone. Pretty damn sweet. Oh, come on, I'll hit this. Right.
You missed.
You get the idea. Type of shit for the
Table tennis, yeah. I forgot you like that.
Yeah. So I played it quite a bit. It's pretty fun. Challenging.
Yeah, so some other stuff as we start progressing with the show. You know, Colin and I are obviously always really concerned about content. I mentioned last week, or maybe was it last week or week before? Joining Epic? I think it was last week. Last week, I told you guys I'm officially a part of Epic Games. First day is actually Thursday. Well, technically, I guess Friday. But anyway, some content stuff is changing, and Colin and I have been brainstorming some stuff. So we're going to try one of our little test pilots today on the show. It's called the Viewer Rant. And that's tentative right now, but that's what we're calling it. But we're working on a number of different things that I think you guys will like going forward. It's just to change up the format a little bit with the show, get you guys more involved, because you know we do a lot of rambling on notes and giving you guys our own thoughts, but we really don't hit the chat until like the Q&A session. So we're going to try to start mixing that in a lot more, and I thought I'd mention that today on the show. Colin, Dota 2 Compendium sales.
$6 million. They just hit it like 2 or 3 hours ago. It took them like 5 days. The grind. So again, it's a $6 million. They added stretch goals all the way up to I think 10 now. Yeah, all the way up to 10 million. Their stretch goals, and that's right here. So currently, I think first place is getting like at least 2 mil. Probably a little bit more. big question is how they're going to break it down this year, because last year they just paid top 8. So if you went to the event and didn't get top 8, then you didn't get shit. So like there was no payout for the rest of the At the end of the day, these teams play a ton of hours to be able to get to the point. So it'd be nice if they do a deeper payout this year, because there's much more money. They've more than doubled the prize pool. So yeah, 6 million. I think we already talked enough about the video as far as the concept. So also, if anyone is from the Seattle area that happens to watch the show, I've got an extra ticket for TI4, and we're looking for a place to chill and hang out during the event. So hit me up if you're interested.
Okay. Man, someone said your mic is low on YouTube. You know, I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of it. I boosted your audio. Hope you're not popping now.
I'm always popping.
I'll have to start. Alright, so, yeah, I mean, we mentioned this last week a little bit with the Compendium sales. I am looking forward to more developers that attempt to, at the very least, mimic what Valve is doing with Compendium. We mentioned, and you mentioned it, I think maybe 3 or 4 times on the show, Natural Selection 2 doing something similar. Yep. Obviously, Counter-Strike is doing something similar, but that's, again, Valve. So, I mean, if this is not evident, I think that Riot should probably take this approach now, since they just blew the doors off of anything related to League of Legends. Riot definitely has to sit there and say, hey, I wonder if our guys would like something like this as well. I mean, it only makes sense at this point.
They could make 20+ mil easy, I think.
Easy, right?
I think they kill it.
So, I mean, this just, at this point, why would you not do this? If you have an esports competitive community, they are, advocate like Call of Duty can do this. I think Halo can probably do this. I think Gears can even do something like this and raise the prize pool significantly. Now, if you're a smaller studio with a smaller community, I still think this is possible, as Natural Selection is the game that has shown that it can be possible. But I would seriously urge, if you are adamant and your developers listen to your communities, to get involved and say, hey guys, make something like this, please help us out, because this is, I mean, the writing is on the wall. This is the future of how esports events are funded, hands down, no question about it.
One thing about Riot, though, is they haven't added new features in a long-ass time to League of Legends, because their client sucks. Like, it's held together with bubblegum and tape.
They have so many staff members, though.
But it doesn't matter. They'd have to do like a bajillion-dollar rehaul to fix everything.
They have a bajillion dollars sitting in the bank.
They could, but instead they try to spend that money to make more money instead. So, like, for them to do what the International did with all this cool shit they're handing out,
yeah,
would be very difficult. But they could probably, they could just throw up a skin. Like,
I think they could do that, yeah.
If they throw up a skin and we're like, hey, if you buy this, then we'll put money towards the pot, then everyone will go nuts.
Right. Yeah. See, I mean, they don't even need to make something as elaborate as Dota and Valve. Yeah. They just need to make something that goes towards the pot, and I think that would work. They could probably add in some other stuff with it too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely. Someone says is my voice going on nuts again?
Yeah, it's just every now and then.
Hell, it's not my net. Don't blame mine. My net is perfect right now.
So is mine. It says our call quality is maxed. So maybe it's some with your mic, I guess.
I guess.
But it didn't happen before we started streaming.
I guess. If you want to blame me.
That it's your net.
No. So now that the Dota 2 stuff is out of the way, what do I have next? I have Titanfall. Okay.
Yeah, Titanfall patch update DLC.
Expedition DLC. So it's out. We played it. What do you think?
I think that Runoff and War Games are probably two of the best maps on the game. Swamplands is okay.
I think Swamplands is actually pretty good. But yeah, runoff war games are definitely better. I don't think that I wouldn't put war games in like the same frame as like some of the maps that aren't as good, like say Airbase, for example. Like I don't like Airbase at all. I think Swamplands is definitely better than that, and it can probably be a notch above a couple of the other maps as well.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not bad for map packs. I think overall though, this is probably one of the. I mean, if not, they certainly have it down like how they need to develop their maps. I think going forward.
That's what I'm most interested in. Is I was curious going into it. I said before they released it, I was like, if they make a maps that have like no little clip issues, like nothing where like a camera has collision on a wall that stops you running, and pathways are large enough for pilots and titans, and like everything's open enough that you can move, then to me that would be indicative of them learning how to make maps for the game. Obviously, like you and I both know, when you're making a game, you're making maps parallel with the rest of the game.
Right.
A lot of times, like stuff changes or the way the game plays changes, but you've already done all that work to do all that art and stuff, so you can't like just scrap it. You just stuck with the maps that you made. So in this case, it was maps that were like, "Hey, our game is solidified. Let's see what we can do and make badass maps." And to me, this is where the rest of the maps going forward for this game and for Titanfall 2 will kind of head in that direction, which is only good. Like it's good shit.
Yeah.
That said, there's the inherent DLC issue, which I know you want to get into.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, they're great maps. Now what? Like, I played for like 6 hours on the DLC playlist. We played a little bit of the Hardpoint playlist, which is supposed to have them in there. I never got them because I, quite frankly, didn't expect to get them because the DLC never works that way. Have you ever had a game which just like mixes in the DLC maps with the regular maps and actually gotten those maps regularly?
Not really. I mean,
I haven't seen it ever.
the funny thing is, I remember, was it on Call of Duty? Maybe it might have been on Call of Duty. I can't remember what game it was. It's been so long now since I've seen someone do this properly. But they would have a map that would be a DLC map that was just added, and it would kick everyone else out of that map and wouldn't load it, and then you would load it into that match. It's like, sorry, you can't play. Get the fuck out. Yeah, so that's my issue with it, and I mentioned this, over on YouTube. Is I'm tired of this model. I think it's archaic at this point in time. I feel like a lot of developers need to figure out different ways to monetize their game that don't create two separate games that you end up playing, right? So if you want skins, like, hey, I think that's a good example. Like, if you want skins, you can have it on your player. It appears on your client. But that doesn't mean that when a map loads that it's going to boot the other player out because they don't have your skin. But that happens in this type of DLC environment because if someone else doesn't have DLC, you're basically segmenting the population and saying, hey, you group of guys can play this game, and you group of guys can play this game in this playlist, but you can't play together. That's not possible unless you leave one or the other. And it's like, well, I've already played these maps a whole bunch of times. I don't want to play that. I want to play the new stuff. So, that's the conflict, I think, that they face and some other developers face. And I think it's, I feel like it's just something that people are going to have to swallow going forward, right? I mean, figure out new ways to monetize on your game that don't involve map packs, because that model sucks at this point. I think it sucks.
If you're going to do it, I think the Halo 2 model worked really well for the community, where it's like an early access type thing where you're just paying for maps for the first 2 or 3 months, and then they go into the overall pool after that.
I think that works.
And like that's roughly the lifespan of these playlists. Like the Expedition DLC playlist is going to be dead within a month and a half, realistically. Right. So like, why would you buy it at that point? You'll be able to play in like the 1 or 2 servers that still exist for it. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. And to add to that, I mean, the issue with segmenting your population goes hand in hand with what we just saw, what we just all witnessed with the PC community, where they had to say, well, I'm sorry, there's not enough people in your playlist for CTF and Pilot Hunter. Let me axe those. And then you say, well, what? Like, can you imagine right now? I seriously think for Xbox, if they took away Capture the Flag on Xbox One as a playlist, I would have a hard time wanting to play everything else. Yeah. Because none of the other game types really accent the movement and what makes the game You can say hard point a little bit, but none of it really plays into what makes the game special. Chasing down a flag runner, a pilot flag capping, like you don't get the same type of movement, I feel like, with the other game modes as you do with capture the flag. So if they were to say, well, and I imagine I would not second guess myself on this. I imagine the playlist numbers are very, very similar in terms of percentages that they were on PC. I imagine Capture the Flag is probably the least popular game mode. It was evident when we were playing it a lot during pubs. It was like, hey, it's taking a while to find a match. It throws us in. Sometimes we get the same people over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but that said, like the reason it's an awful decision is the people that were in those playlists, they're waiting by choice. They could play attrition and get instant matches. But instead, they've chosen to sit through the long-ass wait times in Pilot Hunter and CTF because those are the modes they want to play. So when you cut them from your playlist options, those guys aren't going to attrition. They're going to quit playing the game.
Exactly.
Like, they didn't want to play attrition in the first place. That's why they were waiting 10 minutes for a game. Like, your solutions there are to fix the playlists or just keep it as it is because people are fine with it. Like, if they're playing the playlist, they're fine with it.
Right.
You can direct new players to the playlist which have fast matchmaking times, which you already do because it's at the top of the list. The top list is Last Titan Standing and then attrition. So like you aren't worried about new players having a bad experience because of that. So it doesn't make any sense to me to just axe off part of the population like that because they aren't going to change playlists. You just killed the people. And again, like you were saying, if they cut CTF, I probably wouldn't play the game in pubs.
Yeah, I mean,
I might hop on for scrims and stuff, but
it'd be difficult to play, right? I mean, it'd be very, very difficult for me to play. I don't mind playing Variety Pack if a CTF is thrown in there every once in a while, but like I can't. Every time attrition loads, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to play that. You know what I mean? Like I can do Hardpoint because that is a competitive mode. I can do CTF because that is a competitive mode. I can play Pilot Hunter by myself, but I can't play Pilot Hunter against another team because I know how it plays out. Like you don't want to play that in a competitive environment. And I can play Last Titan Standing a little bit, but it's the same thing for me as TDM. Against the team, it can turn into Gears of War Campfest style stuff. So, I mean, I understand they have some very tough decisions going forward, but
I mean, they have to have a systemic issue with how their matchmaking works. Like, Gears had playlists that had like 90 people on, and it stayed up fine. You know what I mean? And that was also running dedicateds. Like, to me, it seems like the regional selection in Titanfall is killing everything. I think it's segmenting the community, and their algorithms and stuff aren't accounting for like migrating to other servers and combining people from different servers.
That could be. That could be. It's. I mean, I would.
There has to be something wrong there. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time though, it's hard for me to say that this game is a PC title. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's Xbox first, PC second. So I could see them saying, well, maybe we don't want to spin up those dedicated servers for those. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating on it.
Then release with a server browser. Like, PC is glad to host their own servers. They would prefer it.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Pissed off that they can't do it. Now, normally, hey, they removed a mode for matchmaking. Okay, let's go start up some CTF servers. Like, that's not even an option. Like, you can start up a private match and go through that hassle of getting into a game, but that's a pain in the ass for an average PC player.
Exactly.
Like, PC players aren't going to put up with that shit.
So
they've had better for 15 years.
I mean, that's an issue that, I mean, we obviously saw it here. You say they're going to annex that. So, you know, clearly I think adding more playlists, and this is a very good example. We've talked about this in the past for Gears. Adding more playlists does not help the game, especially if your population for your game isn't that significant in the first place. So, you know, when we see people asking for Gumby shooting rainbows, shit, weapons, let me add this as a playlist. Like, why? That doesn't make sense. Like, you're segmenting your population to the point where you can't get a very good match. And this is a very, very good example that's front and center right now for the PC community. And the DLC is going to add to this issue. It's not going to help it, right? So they're going to add the...
That's what pisses me off the most, is they add the DLC playlist. They add 2 DLC playlists, and then they say we don't have enough players in Pilot Hunter and CTF, so we're axing them. And then they say, but don't worry, in the future, we'll combine those modes into another playlist, in addition to new modes we're having come out, which will get their own playlists. You didn't do shit! You removed 2 playlists so you could add 2 more and then more in the future. Like, what the fuck? How does that make sense? Like, that's not solving a problem. You're just alienating your user base.
Yep.
It's fucking stupid.
Yep.
It makes no sense. It's completely tone deaf to the community.
I'm baffled by the move. Baffled.
And when they add those new playlists, they have this impression that people from attrition are going to go over there. Hell, when you add a 2v2 LTS, how is that not just going to segment your LTS population? Like, how is that not... What are you doing? Your new mode is literally 2v2 LTS. And you're talking about removing modes because they don't have enough players?
Yep.
In favor of that? In favor of another duplicate that just splits off from an existing game type? That's the dumbest shit ever. Like, did you give any thought to this? Any thought at all? Other than, oh shit, long matchmaking times in CTF, we better remove it. It's fucking idiotic. Makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bad move all around. And it's kind of it's a catch-22 though. I mean, at the same time, I imagine players are complaining about long wait times or something, whatever they are.
So educate them. Educate them why the matchmaking times are long. Tell them an estimated time for the matches. Tell them, like, hey, there's only X players playing in your region. Tell them, hey, this region has more players. Combine the regions. Say, here's an estimate. Say, hey, you're going to have to wait 10 minutes every time you go on this playlist. Then people are like, okay, I'm signing up for that. I am signing a non-verbal contract that I'm willing to wait 10 minutes and won't throw a hissy fit about it, you know? Like, there's other ways to handle that, and this doesn't really solve shit except for make people leave your game.
Yep, I agree. Destroying dreams. The thing is, though, he's destroying the dreams, but this is all like 100% accurate. And the frustrating thing from my end is that we've seen this time and time again. We know the pattern, like we know what's going to happen. So why even? I mean, why even do this, right? So I mean, we already know what's going to happen because it's happened already 1,000 times. So I mean, for me, it just doesn't make sense. Rest of the patch stuff, ending on some good notes. We got more private match settings, double-edged sword, Colin, double fucking edged sword. And this is for the competitive community, not necessarily respawn. I'm glad they added more options, but private match settings for competitive community is the worst thing to happen ever. Removal of the ability to flag cap using Titans, now gone. That was a silent one though, right? They didn't include that in the patch notes.
Yeah, they said it was accidentally omitted.
Okay.
Which again is weird because that was the main complaint that PC users had about CTF, and they didn't even give time for like people to go try it out and see how it played.
Yeah,
it's a huge change for competitive. Like it changes the way the game plays entirely in CTF.
It is very funny, and there's a comment I actually read from someone on YouTube. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it is, but it's off the top of my head. And I don't like necessarily the mentality he took to it, and I kind of went back and forth with him, and he agreed with me ultimately. But he said something along the lines of, I called people using Titans to run flag caps as a crutch. Not because I dislike Titans in CTF, but because of the reason of seeing players wait specifically in their base and camp for about 3 minutes until their Titans drop and then decide to push, not at all exploring and or learning how to run a flag as a pilot. So it basically didn't allow people to grow as players in the playlist for flag running. So you saw a lot of players, and I see it right now, a lot of players that have no idea what the hell they're doing when they pick up that flag and try to run. Just no idea. No routes. Colin, you need to help them out with the routes, man. You need to start posting those videos. They have no idea how to work with their other teammates. Like if they see a Titan within the area jumping on their back. I can't tell you. We were on runoff, and we play CTF. I was playing by myself, and I think it was on stream a couple days ago. There's a guy that grabbed our flag. He decides to run out the backside into the water, and I'm sitting there like he saw me. I'm sitting there waiting for him to jump on me. He runs out the backside into the water. I follow him down into the water. He runs on the opposite side of me, goes up a ramp and dies. Why did he not hop on my back? Like, why did that not make sense?
You have to get in front of him, crouch, and put your head down.
There's a couple reasons why, obviously. I mean, the party chat and chatting with people obviously is messed up. But I mean, for me, if I see someone, and there's a couple people that do this, if I see someone, I'm going to hop on that Titan and I'm going to be like, hey, I mean, they should know, get the hell out of there.
Right.
And it just wasn't apparent. It wasn't apparent because they didn't play like that ever. They were used to dropping their Titan, hopping into a Titan, and running a flag. That just doesn't really grow you as a player. So for me, on that video, I said using Titans as a crutch is a crutch because you don't learn the rest of the game. You don't learn how to play. So, you know, seeing this removal and seeing how people have reacted so far, at least in pubs, has been absolutely a treat. Very, very funny all around, watching people attempt to get into their Titans and drop the flag and not even realize that the flag dropped. So there's two things. One, they didn't even pay attention to anyone else in the server. Two, they didn't even pay attention to their icon for the HUD that says you don't have the flag anymore. Three, they just don't know how to, like I said, they just don't know how to play. Like, it's just frustrating to see it and funny at the same time. But that's probably the biggest change other than the private match settings that really went into this. Everything else is kind of bug fixes. 144 hertz fix on PC. I think that one was pretty big for those guys over there. But I can't really think of too many other changes that are significant. The loadout changes, loadout specific changes.
Name loadouts, you get a couple extra loadouts.
Yeah.
The big omissions for private match settings was there's no burn card option, which was like the one thing that everyone agreed needed to be banned for matches and competitive play. So you can't disable those, and also there's no ability to start private matches by yourself still.
You think that's a big issue?
Yes, absolutely. There's a bunch of guys, like the non-competitive guys, just want to run around the map and learn the map and be able to run around and maybe even shoot bots. Like, you know, there's people that would just be happy to just run around and shoot grunts and shit.
Sure. That's true. And technically, you should be able to do that considering you can play attrition and win the game by killing bots. So you turn up that bot difficulty and you basically have a
you can run around
death match, so to speak.
But yeah, I've seen it requested repeatedly and it hasn't been addressed. And they haven't said anything about if they're going to do it in the future. So that's the two things which I was kind of like, really? Come on. Considering they added some really obscure private match settings. Like being able to set AI lethality and AI types and stuff.
It's warfare where I have robot dogs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Did I link the update? Here's the update if you guys haven't read it in chat. And you guys can take a look at that. But yeah, that's pretty much it on thoughts on the Expedition DLC, patch notes, stuff like that. Very interesting stuff all around. I think there's a lot of good changes. I don't want to get into the private match stuff and why I don't like the settings because I've already ranted about that.
Yeah. And
it'll just send me on a tangent. So I think it's bad when players have too many options, a la Halo. Let's get on to the viewer rant, Colin. Alright. So I have to explain the rules to you guys. Alright. We're going to explain it, and then hopefully in the future when we do this, we're going to have a bunch of different stuff coming up. But in the future, you guys will just know when it's time. So the viewer rant, let me switch my chat. There we go. So we got the chat up. Alright, so all you guys are going to do is we're going to say a game, and it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a game, but we're going to say a game, and all you guys have to do in chat is type the first word that comes to mind when we say the game. Alright, Colin and I are going to read through these and say them for out loud for you guys. So obviously you can have some fun with this if you wanted to, but the idea is to have you guys talk about the games that you love and other things. So I typed all games. Colin didn't add any. So Colin, while I'm reading through, you can type. We'll just alternate. So I'll start off with the first one, and then I'll read, and then maybe you can add if you want.
Wait, what am I typing?
To the list.
I'm typing what the chat says?
Yeah. No. You're typing to the list, like if you want to add any games.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm reading the chat. All right, so you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Everyone ready? Okay. All right. So, first game. Mario Kart.
We have a 20-second delay.
It'll work.
All right. All right.
Horny. It's the way that we started.
20-second delay, dude.
More. Blue shells. Blue shell. Luck. Awful catch-up mechanic. Random. Rainbow Road. Oh ha. Blah.
I think that's what he's going for.
Do it. Fun. What is awa? What was your awaha?
It was
No.
it's the Mario noise he's going for.
No Wii U. Greatest. Drunk driving. Star power. drunk driving. Awesome. All right, Colin, you got to interject with the next one while this is going on. Split
right.
screen.
Duke Nukem.
Luigi's mustache. Mario. Wait. What did I come back to? This is a viewer rant. Duke Nukem is up right now. Balls of Steel.
Bubblegum.
Bubblegum. Alien sex. I can't see the chat. That's blocked out. What is that? Shit. Peach is Mario's sister. Bubblegum. Dirty. Do, bro. Titties. Terrible reboot. Meth. Terrible reboot. Mitch's hairline. How did Mitch's hairline get thrown in with Duke Nukem? The King. Alien Colonial Marines. Colin, it's all you.
For Alien Colonial Marines?
No, from now on.
Oh, okay.
Alien Colonial Marines, new game. Get those Duke Nukem Marines in.
Oh, hail to the king. Duke Nukem is trash. Another hairline. Strippers. I wonder what's getting censored. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that there's 2 censored things in there. I wonder what it is, though.
Alien Colonial Marines, Colin. What's up, Pot?
Beats his ass.
False advertising.
False advertising. That's a good one. Scary alien, bad developer. Colonial twats.
I'm gonna type in chat what the new one is. That way the delay isn't as bad.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, there we go.
Colonial poo. Utterly repugnant. Randy Pitchford. So you doing Minecraft or me?
I'll do it. Boring. drugs, baby game, Steve. What?
The Minecraft guy's name is Steve.
Oh yeah, it is. Computer Legos. LOL at baby game. Brats. Minecraft. This one is you, Colin. Minecraft. He fell asleep. Game looked like it was made in 2000. Square. But I still like it. Call of Duty 3.
Call of Duty 3 is the next one.
Zombies. Grenada.
And Granada.
Grenada.
Were there zombies in Call of 3?
I don't think so.
Vehicles.
Vehicles. Terrible. Call of Duty. Good for its. 3 arc. Tim. Good for its time.
Fine.
For me family. For me family. And we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
You roll the next.
Yeah, we can roll to next. Treyarch learning to use their computers. My bad. Call of Booty. Mosin Nagin? I don't even remember how you say that.
Night
My
Vision.
bad. Night Vision.
For Halo ODST. Sorry, I forgot to say it. Fun campaign. Marty O'Donnell, jazzy soundtrack. Best Halo single player. Halo Jazz. 2 people with the jazz references. Keep it clean. ODST, facepalm. Wife has a headache again, dang it. See, I don't think that's related.
Zombie, I don't know if that, I don't know if that's related. We read it though.
Best soundtrack. ODST had a pretty good soundtrack. Recon. The beginning of money grabbing.
Interesting. And Unspartan.
Last one, Marvel.
Marvel. Last one. ODST was supposed to be DLC. Marvel. Forgettable characters.
That's probably for ODST. That's probably for ODST.
Oh, what a dig if that's for Marvel. Okay,
said
that's for
ODST.
ODST. Wins Marvel.
Black Widow. On this DLC. Deadpool.
Pool.
Disney.
Fuck Disney.
Galactus is
Shit?
probably shit. Why is my stuff censored? I don't remember ever censoring my stuff.
It might be on my channel. I might have it set to default. Stuff that Twitch sets.
Can I have it all PG-13? I see.
Just not me. This is just default. I didn't switch it. Hawkeye.
Evo.
Evo.
Venom.
And Colin, that's time. Galactus is bull poops. Cosplay booby goodness. Oh man. Oh
As a
yeah.
transition, did you see the Guardian of the Galaxy 2 or the second trailer?
No,
No, it's good.
I needed to change this. It's changed on my end.
So that was interesting.
On the
I'm
other
going
one.
to leave the chat up for the rest of the show, so you guys behave.
All right. You want to do that? Leave the chat up for the rest of the show? All right. Fine by me.
Okay.
What are we on now? Halo?
No, the big news this week.
Oh, big news.
Google Twitch.
$1 billion?
Over $1 billion.
Well, it's estimated. Reported.
Reported
Now-
to be over $1 billion.
I didn't put the link in here, but it was first. The news was first broken by Variety, who stated that Twitch and Google were in discussions. Google supposedly is about to, or on the verge of, buying out Twitch TV for an estimated $1 billion.
Over $1 billion.
I'm going to say
Greater
1
than.
billion.
Greater
Over
than.
$1 billion. Fine. Over $1 billion. And so a lot of speculation on what's happening right now. And then there was an update to the report that said that Twitch was actually in discussions with other people, including Microsoft, for the buyout, but ultimately chose Google because they probably have better deal, whatever. Who knows why? But they turned down a deal for Microsoft and then started courting, or Google started courting them. So lots and lots and lots of questions are being, basically propagated on the internet right now from partners, YouTubers, just people in the media. I saw an article on Polygon. There's stuff about copyright claims. There's stuff about Google feature integration. There's stuff about monopoly for Google in terms of YouTube and for VOD, I guess, and then Twitch for live streaming. But, I think it would be hard to say that they would have a monopoly over live stream content, considering, and here's the asterisk to this, Twitch is specifically built for gamers. So I'm going to start with monopoly first. So to say that they have a monopoly over live stream content is kind of like, really? The only thing that we stream is gaming. So are you saying that we have a monopoly over live stream content for gaming and video broadcasting on the net overall for all things with YouTube? So I don't know if that case is going to, if the deal is going to get banned or not, or they're going to throw an axe at it. But it's certainly an interesting argument to be made when you say Twitch is just for gamers, and it can be at peaks the fourth most trafficked website on the internet. I think in the U.S. anyway. So there's definitely some antitrust stuff possibly there, but I don't necessarily think that the deal wouldn't go through. What do you think?
Can you have a monopoly on entertainment? That seems ridiculous to me. Like that concept.
I mean, Google is buying up a lot of stuff. I mean, if you say that they control live streaming and video,
I mean, the concern would be if they control the back-end infrastructure stuff and they had access to all the CDNs and they were charging exorbitant rates to use those CDN content delivery networks. So no, where another company couldn't possibly start up because they don't have access to those, and that hasn't really been the case. I don't think they even. I'm sure they own some, obviously. Because they do all the cloud stuff,
right?
Like most of the people, and most of the ones which Twitch and stuff have used have been outside companies. So I don't think you can. I don't know if there's precedent to have a monopoly on entertaining people.
I don't know. It's definitely something that I think would be heavily investigated, regardless of if the deal goes through or not.
Also, Netflix is bigger. It's massive.
Yeah, I agree. By far.
And from the CDN standpoint, Amazon is gigantic.
And that's why I said, based off of live stream content, or if the deal wouldn't go through, you can't say, that Twitch is the biggest one of them all, because you just mentioned two that are definitely bigger. They just have the biggest in gaming space, specifically for gaming. The other question I think is probably the most hotly contested is this idea of copyright infringement based off of what Google uses to crawl, whatever tech they have to crawl videos for copyright claims, which they do automated at this point. And the process for a lot of people, specifically those in gaming, as of, I want to say, December 2013, when they did that big flip, they had all types of partners getting content strikes and copyright claims from everyone. The music groups claiming content that for soundtracks and games. They had basically false claims from people all over the place that just wanted to troll. And then there was content that and I saw one. It was Angry Joe. He did a freaking interview. He did an interview with someone that was a developer, and the interview got flagged. So there was just a ton of issues with the way they handle copyright claims versus Twitch's leniency, where I think unless they actually have a right to take down, they don't enforce it. They put it on the developer or on the music group or whoever to go to your channel and say, this guy is infringing on me. He's sharing and streaming all my music. I want to issue a ban on this guy so he doesn't do it again. So they put it on them to do it versus having it automated, which I think, I don't know if there's a gray area. Obviously, I think one is better than the other for catching this stuff. But it's certainly probably the biggest issue if they decide to say put some type of automated tech over Twitch streams that catches you in the act of streaming all your little music that you stream, and then your account is banned the next day. The difference, I think, and I mentioned this, I don't know if I posted that video yet or not, but the difference I think I'm kind of thinking about it is Twitch doesn't naturally archive videos on default. So once you're done with your stream, you have that stream and then it's off in the ether after like 2 weeks or something like that, versus YouTube's always staying there. So from a content standpoint, I think if you stream, you have your music up, that's fine. At the end of the day, you delete your archive so no one can rebroadcast it and listen to it. Maybe you can get away with it, but still, I don't know if they're going to be able to have as lenient a policy as they do right now, for sure.
And part of it is that there's explicit laws for the YouTube stuff that are already in place. When it comes to like streaming video and like once only streaming kind of thing, there's not a lot. It's kind of like songs on the radio are a closer analogy, because like you hear the song once and then it's gone, unless you like use the old cassette recordings of the tapes and that kind of stuff in order to jack the radio songs.
Right.
But I mean, like for the most part, it's like one and done. You just hear it and then that's it. So it's like this really weird gray area where there's not a ton of legal precedent for that kind of stuff yet. And the concern is that YouTube and Google might roll in and be like, all right, better safe than sorry, and just like super tighten up on everything so they don't have to be part of any litigation like that.
Right.
Which has generally been their approach on YouTube, has been, hey, we're just going to tighten everything up as much as we can, and ignore your protests and that kind of stuff. Which, that's my big concern, is that YouTube support is non-existent.
I don't even know who to contact for YouTube.
You can't contact
support.
anyone. Like, they go out of their way to make sure there's no one to contact. There's not even an email address to contact.
I think, you just submit a ticket, if I'm not mistaken, and it goes to a Google support page. So they don't necessarily deal with customer service on that issue. But would you want to deal with 1 billion people, or however many, 800 million people that have issues?
But like, they don't have like an automated anti-claim thing either. You know what I mean? Like, there's a super complex claim system, but then there's nothing for when you want to protest those claims.
Right.
So.
All right, and there's a little bit of protest there, but it's just once you protest, your video is basically in possession of another person for like 3 months or however long it takes to.
And then you have no feedback as to why it got accepted or denied.
Yeah,
like it's just a button.
Just claimed. Why?
Yeah.
No reason.
No reason.
I saw your video. I wanted to claim it. It's claimed, and that's the shitty aspect of how they kind of do things over there with their automated process. During that sweep. And I mentioned it on the show back in, I think, January, right around that first or second week of January. I had mentioned that I hadn't had any copyright infringements. You guys know I'm very, very, very particular about the music that I choose before the show every day for Frag Logic. And there's a couple claims that I have. None of them are really music. There's one song I have, I think, from a Kill Bill soundtrack that's claimed on one Frag Logic episode. And I forgot all about it. I thought I clipped it enough so that wasn't there. But that's one that I have that's claimed by whoever owns that song. And then there's another slew of games that I have that are all claimed by Warner Music Group and all these other music groups for soundtracks while I'm doing my Let's Plays during a live stream that's VOD'd on their site. So the process is definitely frustrating to deal with. And unless you are a big enough partner or big enough channel, you don't really have anyone that you can talk to face to face with, as what Colin said, to get it resolved in a timely manner. They just don't deal with the peons. They deal with the the kings and the queens of the space rather than everyone else. So that's probably also something that's really frustrating. And then I think the last thing that I want to kind of touch on this is before I guess kind of talking about some of the reasons that it's good is the buyout number. I think it's exceptionally low. 1 billion is exceptionally low. Do you not think so? I mean, 1 billion. Hold on. Let me preface this. 1 billion is a hell of a lot of fucking money. All right, $1 billion anytime is a lot of money. I don't care how you spend it; it's a lot of money. But if you make the comparison to Google back in 2006 versus Google today, they bought YouTube for $1.6 billion, Colin. $1.6 billion. And at the time, they had a bunch of things competing. There was like VO, there was Blip, there was even Google Video, there was all this other stuff that was in the landscape for VOD at the time. And they shelled out $1.6 billion. And then you look at Twitch. How many live stream services are there out there that really are competing? You got maybe live stream. You have what is the name of that? YouTube has its own stream service. You have a couple others that might be out there. Ustream is the other main big competitor, I guess. But you factor those in. What's out there? You factor in inflation, and you look at where Twitch is now based off of all the data points that they have, the integration that they have with some of the big namers out there, Microsoft, Sony, all of the developers that are publishing games, Blizzard, Activision, all those guys, Treyarch, and you say 1.6 or 1 billion? You don't think that's low?
No, because I was trying to find the exact numbers before I said this. So, as you know, they've gone for investment several times. Back in 2011 was when they launched Twitch, which actually was not very long ago at all. That was when they split off officially from Justin.tv. Before then, everyone was just streaming gaming stuff on Justin.tv.
Okay.
So in September 2012, they got 15 million in Series B investments, and then in September of this year, they did 20 million in Series C investment.
So 35 million?
$35 million from investors being turned into over $1 billion valuation. Obviously, they had some other stuff in there, and they do okay on the day-to-day. I know that they were talking about how hard it was for them to expand appropriately and be able to keep the service up, just in that general terms. Like, it's really expensive having to deal with all the CDNs and middlemen in order to deliver video across the nation, or across the world. So, like, I feel like it's probably a fair investment. That said, there's a ton of different monetization stuff that they can get into going forward. I am hesitant because I think a lot of the stuff that makes Twitch cool would also be lost as they started to monetize more. Like, for example, the Most played games list, like currently like the largest, most populated games list, something which everyone always looks at for like how successful a game is, or where to find interesting streams, because usually the top people are listed on there because the game just gets a ton of people because of that.
Right.
You have cases where someone streams, like some popular streamer hops on Mario or Super Mario Land, for example, and that has 10,000 viewers, and you're like, holy shit, why does Mario have 10,000 viewers? And you click it and watch. But that stuff can get replaced by sponsor games. And you've already seen a few times where games have purchased slots on there so that they can be at the top of the list. And it would say sponsor game, Infinite Crisis, and then it would list the thing. So like if more of that stuff started being paid streams, it could definitely take away a lot of that community aspect where it's like just one person can make a game have the spotlight, essentially. Both indie games, old games, etc. So, and that's the kind of stuff I'm more concerned about with how they transition to, hey, we have this cool service, to, hey, let's start trying to make money off of it at some point. Because at some point they want to make money off of it.
Yeah.
And video ads are one option, but like really there's other avenues that can potentially do more. Like, for example, when YouTube serves me a video, right, they play me a 15 to 30 second ad now. You remember that wasn't there like 4 or 5 years ago, but that's another point. So they only have to serve that video once, where if I watch a stream, I'm usually watching a 30-minute chunk before I see an ad. And that's way more costly for them to stream that 70 or 720p video to me live than it is to serve one video on the other end. Like the margins don't make sense as well as YouTube does. So like I feel like they're going to look to monetize in other areas, and it's going to potentially suck.
And they have. I think they've invested some time researching it. You have like subscribing to channels.
Yep.
And then the subscription service by itself that gets rid of ads.
It's small time though.
Yeah,
like that's not gonna get you that billion.
Probably.
Close.
But talking about that in terms of what they could do with the money, I think that's probably the biggest thing that is a plus for Twitch in this partnership deal. Obviously, monetizing, better monetization on ads, and figuring out ways to monetize more with YouTube, who's been doing it quite a while right now for video. Faster feature implementation. I think as of right now, I don't want to say they have slow implementation, but I feel like it is buggy at times. And it doesn't roll out as quickly as it could. And then the biggest one is stability across the site. How often does the chat go down on Twitch? Every time there's a major event, the chat is down. And that absolutely sucks. When Twitch Play Pokemon was popping off, the chat was down. So, from a stability standpoint, I think Google can really jettison them into an area that makes it much better for them as a company. But I'm just worried about what that does for people that are using the service overall. So that's pretty much it on the Google Twitch buyout. I'm kind of interested to see what people kind of say. I do know that over on YouTube, there's a lot of concerns. Obviously, people are worried about the integration of other features like Google Plus. Forcing that on people on YouTube was a nightmare. And then they didn't kind of backed away from Google Plus most recently. So I think Google kind of trying to figure out what they want to do and harmonizing. I think someone said that harmonizing all their features across the services that they have, I think is really important, but I don't know if they're necessarily getting it right. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to say there about this deal in general, what it can mean for Twitch, what it can mean for us, partners, and copyright claims. All that stuff is going to be interesting as this story continues to unfold, and we end up with a number that they end up settling on, or maybe Twitch won't. Maybe they'll try to fight it off and keep moving on. But it's pretty awesome. Next up, Halo. Let's get right to Halo. Saved it for the end. Sorry, guys. Halo 5 Guardians release. Alright, so not a whole lot of information here to really talk about. This is more like speculation and a little bit of excitement, I think, with people that are close to Halo, or that just kind of read the blurb that was quoted by Bonnie Ross, who's the general manager at 343. And I'll just read this to you guys so you guys can hear it. Making a Halo game that runs at 60 frames per second on dedicated servers with the scope features, and scale we've been dreaming of for more than a decade is non-trivial. It's a task that we at 343 Industries are taking very seriously to ensure we deliver the Halo game that fans deserve, and a game that is built from the ground up for Xbox One. Halo 5 Guardians is a bigger effort than Halo 4 that applies to the content and scope of the game, as well as the technology and what's now a brand new and more powerful engine. Certainly, there are some core elements carried over from prior games, but we've invested a huge effort in retooling our tech to take full advantage of the Xbox One's hardware and ecosystem to create worlds and experiences worthy of next gen. That's his full quote. The only two things that you can really take away from this are the 60 FPS dedicated servers. I think both of those are, at least the 60 FPS is really obvious. Dedicated servers, not so much so, but I think it's something that as we continue to go forward, we'll see more games trying to support dedicated servers using Microsoft's cloud-based Azure servers or whatever they are.
They renamed them, didn't they?
I don't know if they did or not. Silver, I don't know what they're called. I think Silver is the video thing. I don't know. The one thing that is different from this whole thing, when they showed the trailer last year at E3, I think someone is mentioning it here. No, no one saw it. So the trailer that they showed at E3, which was the basically, I don't know, it was a concept trailer, whatever, teaser trailer, said 2014 at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, I think it said your Halo journey continues
in 2014, right? So a lot of people, I think, were under the assumption that the game was going to be ready in 2014. I was, but when they come out with this announcement, they say the game is coming out in 2015. It kind of makes me wonder if they felt like, hey, we need to take some more time on this, or if they were going to all along pull this, hey, we're going to make Halo 1 through 4 in HD and repackage that thing. If that was part of the plan and they were going to do that instead, and that's why you said they have the wording in there, Halo Journey, which definitely makes sense, and I thought about that as well. But I don't know what we're going to see at E3 now with Halo 5 being announced. We're going to get maybe some gameplay? You think we're going to get a gameplay trailer?
I don't know. I'm glad that 60 FPS is the new standard in general. Like, I don't know what's gonna be at E3, but that's the big thing for me. 60 FPS is the new standard.
It will be 1080 or 1078p.
1078p. One
Journey
more P
continues
than
to
whatever
go.
the PlayStation has out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I tweeted at Quinn immediately after we got the Halo 5 news and told him I was kind of disappointed that the game wasn't going to be out in 2014. He said, don't worry, it's good. It's a good thing. He said that the game will be made specifically for you. He said there will be some stuff in there specifically for you. And so I think someone was reading our tweets back and forth, and so their their next tweet to both of us was, esports features? And so, I mean, obviously, they got the crew over there from MLG. Linux was video production at MLG. They have a lot of ex-Halo pros. They have Bravo. And then they have people like Quinn, who is big into competitive gaming, loves the esports scene, was previously at Gears or Epic Games, and then went on to 343. So, I mean, and they even have the matchmaking guy from, I still never remember his name, John?
Josh. It's Joshua May.
Josh! Josh. Every time. I can't remember his name. But they have the matchmaking guy from StarCraft 1? It's the first StarCraft or StarCraft 2?
The most recent one.
Okay, StarCraft 2's matchmaking system is probably building the matchmaking architecture for Halo 5. Designing it. Is he a programmer? Designer?
He's a designer.
Oh, okay. So he's
designer.
Okay, so he's designing it. I thought he was a programmer. But yeah, I mean, you put all those things together, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot of interest in the esports and competitive community. Obviously, they with Halo 4, you saw a little bit of support with it with the $100,000 free-for-all tournament that Ace, was it Ace that won that? I think it was Ace. And that was back in 2013 PAX event. I think it was the finals for that, PAX Prime. So, Colin, is there a reason to be excited about Halo 5 Guardians?
60 FPS dedicated. They aren't trying to make the game in 2 years. Like, that's the big thing. Like, you say you're disappointed, but really you wouldn't have wanted the game in 2
I
years.
know. I'm just saying that. I was just teasing Quinn, like, oh, you delayed the game, okay.
No, I think when they did their E3 thing last year, I was saying that it's not enough time. So I think it's good. Should be fun. I'm mostly excited just based on the team they built over there. I'm a little bit jealous. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit jealous.
Okay. I mean, it's definitely something that obviously has a lot of people like perked now. Like, what? You have these guys? Okay. And then for anyone else that's not really involved with it, I think there's a lot of people that don't know who all they have there. I am concerned, though, if that this game doesn't meet expectations for a lot of people, at least in the competitive community, that I will, at that point, and I already believe this to some extent, but at that point I will have to say that the competitive community doesn't know what the hell they want at this point in time. If you have all those guys there and they can't...
And they still aren't happy with it?
And they still aren't happy with it, then it's like, okay, you guys might as well just go back to Halo 2 or Halo 1 and call it a day, or Halo 3, call it a day, and just play that.
By the time it comes out, like, I'd expect it to be a different competitive community, you know what I mean? Like a new community.
You think so?
Because everyone's be old. It's the same thing, man.
I guess
Everyone's be old and jaded, and they aren't gonna have the time to put in like before. And they're gonna get beat by the new pups.
That is true. That is true.
I'm just. It seems pretty inevitable to me.
I would like to see a couple features that I hope that they're thinking about. Some things like League of Legends with the Team Q stuff, season stuff, ladders, all that stuff. I want to see that built in. I'm hoping they're thinking about that. I think they have the right people in place to pull that off.
Yeah, I'm hoping they pick up the Bungie torch from Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, kind of, not really, of killer out-of-game features and building around that, and then making a fun game that kind of fits into those.
Yeah.
Like, Halo 2 designed Xbox Live as you know it now. Like, Halo 2 was Xbox Live in its first iteration. Like, you could play on other games, like you played Unreal, but you knew that it was nothing compared to like the infrastructure that Halo had.
Okay, when you say nothing compared to the infrastructure, yes.
Unreal could get you into a match together, yes.
We could host private matches.
It was basically PC, right? Like,
yeah.
At that point. And then that puts in this whole big top-level wrapper on it. You had clans, you had friends list support, you had all these different cool invite things, matchmaking hoppers, like all that stuff started with Halo. And then Halo 3 added Forge, it added Halo 3 added Forge, it added replays, which for some reason just keeps getting left out of other games. Both of those things.
Yeah.
Plans, replays, Forge.
But they didn't add spectator mode. So I would go out on a limb.
That's been the one thing which has evaded Halo.
Go out on a limb and say that Halo 5 will be the first Halo to introduce spectator mode. You guys heard it here first on the show. Halo 5 will have spectator mode. Speculation. Michael, take that. Dynasty, you said you want Twitch integration. Why would you want Twitch integration in the game when it's already built into Xbox One by itself?
I'll guarantee that there will be Twitch integration. You can stream Halo on Twitch. I am going way out on a limb.
They already have it. Theater mode with the party? Yes. Kind of interested to see what type of features. Let's go ahead and pose this question into the chat. What type of features would you guys like to see in Halo 5 Guardians? There is a lot to play, by the way. Nemo, you said you're kind of waiting. There's a lot of games to play this year. What happened? Oh. trying to find a name in there. Couldn't find it.
Theater mode with the party. They've had it working with 2 people, didn't they? In Halo 3?
I thought it was. I actually thought it was 4.
Yeah. And then they removed it.
You hope they add stopping power, more weapons, new weapons. Odyssey, I think people will be upset with you at the new weapons. As long as they're not starting rifles, I imagine.
Everyone wants that Halo 2 BR.
Dual wielding, good ranks. Bomb game type. What is it? They have one, Extraction.
Yeah.
What's up, Arbitress? You just getting here at the end of the Halo 5 discussion. What's up, Morph? Morph is saying what's up to him. Double jump. A double jump?
I saw a Halo 4 modded game type that had double jump. It was based on Titanfall. It's like what they did was they had the jetpack set at like 25% with a really fast recharge. So like you would jump and then tap the jetpack and it would do like a quick little burst up and then you'd be out of jetpack. So it was kind of like having a boot, thruster boot double jump type thing.
Think they'll add wall running? Oh man, how mad would the Halo community be if they had a wall running?
I think they'd like it. I don't know.
I'm hoping for a good campaign. Multiplayer is just a bonus.
I want wall running in every game now. I'm
Yeah.
sold.
It's so good. Neutral assault. Class system. Competitive playlist or some sort like Black Ops 2 League play. Yeah, see that. I think League play is the first step. I think it can be improved upon quite a bit.
Dinosaurs, that's a good one.
Dinosaurs? It didn't look like he was on a very dinosauric planet.
You don't know. It's all dusty and shit. Can't see anything. Couldn't see the bones buried underneath the ground.
Odyssey, that's how we get all our predictions.
Mine coming from someplace lower.
I think it'd be cool if to have elites in multiplayer again, if only matchmaking and not in competitive. Interesting.
What do we got next?
We have there's a couple topics that we can hit on like really quickly. Well, how about we just do this while we do Q&A?
All right.
So we have the Q&A session.
You didn't put Star Citizen stuff on here, did you?
Oh, I didn't. So I'll mention that too. So I don't know why I didn't include that, and I have it in the title. So Star Citizen Arena Commander mode. Here, let me change this real quick before I get to Q&As. But Star Citizen Arena Commander mode was announced. This is really quick, and the only reason I mentioned it was because
Gypsies.
because I'm a backer. So I will get to play at least the single player portion of the Arena Commander mode reportedly on the 29th. That's when Chris said that it'll be available to everyone that has been a backer. So I'll get to fly around and shoot people, hopefully a lot better than the demo that we saw. Was at E3, or no, not E3, PAX East, which was a little over a month ago. So I'm hoping I get to shoot some asteroids, they blow up, I get to kill some stuff, practice my movement and everything, and then by the time I get into multiplayer at some point in time, hopefully soon, I can destroy some people and then post YouTube videos of me just wrecking people in Star Citizen. That is the ultimate goal with Arena Commander mode. But yeah, it is announced like 3 days ago, something like that. That they believe that they can get it out by the 29th. So this will be one of the modules that will be available to backers. I have Star Citizen Arena Commander. Terrible. To mark that. It's okay, I'll remember. So now I'm gonna go to Q&A. That's it for Star Citizen. Very minor, but something I wanted to mention anyway.
Do you feel like you were promised a multiplayer mode there initially?
Do I feel like I was promised?
Yeah, like when they first talked about the module. Obviously, it will eventually be multiplayer. Like they're letting people in really slowly.
I thought that it would be bigger than a slow rollout like it is, but I mean, they have so many backers that I could see it posing a problem if they just open the floodgates. But yeah, I see that as being an issue. Later, Odyssey. Glad you enjoyed the show. Or hope you did. Fraud Citizen? Oh, Kupo. That's just messed up. But yeah, we're in Q&A right now, guys. So if you have any questions, let us know. We'll be reading the chat. A couple things that we're going to mention as we sign off for the show. There was an article in GameSpot that I read first that asked, or that was a report from Gamasutra that said that Steam, and I posted this on YouTube, Steam released more games so far in 2014, 20 weeks in, than they did for the entire year of 2013.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
They're going crazy.
And then they want to become self-publishing. So if you have a game idea, Colin, just slap it on there. Imagine it'll get approved pretty quickly. And then they have early access, which is blown out.
Also have to make it. Just say.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make it first. Early access is quite crowded now. And then obviously they have all the new releases. Someone on Twitter, on YouTube, and I'm gonna go through some of the comments real quick from that video. But someone mentioned over there that they felt like there's a lot of re-releases of games that are kind of old over there. And then the other thing that I think a lot of people mentioned was that they want some type of QA from I think the players before a game can be published, right? So I mean, take a small subset and be like, hey, this game isn't actually legit, don't publish it. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but I think a QA process definitely needs to go into effect. I mean, that's what most people do. But at the same time, I understand the want to self-publish and not have to deal with that.
I was gonna say, they know that they can hire QA people, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Valve has any QA people.
Colin, how come you don't stream often?
Good question. I was originally doing it because I was recording video, but I'm not really trying to do videos right now, so I suppose I could start streaming again.
You should. Instead of doing GIFs of you crabering people.
Those GIFs were good though, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Oh man, some quality GIFs.
Um,
Quality GIFs.
Here goes some of the comments. This is from Fade Out Cobra over on YouTube. He said, you are absolutely right, Arctic. I'm an indie developer, and I think that there are way too many games on Steam. I put some of my games on Steam, but I really think that they need some restrictions in place. Otherwise, Steam will get flooded with games, which it already is. Autoimmunity said the problem is that there are too many games, mostly this year, that are being re-released on Steam regardless of their age. Time and time again, I see 12-plus-year-old games that were mediocre at launch that get released on Steam just to make a quick buck.
I was actually kind of surprised. I noticed they had changed the, when you opened up the Steam website, it was it would show new releases first. It was showing top sellers instead.
Top sellers.
I noticed the other day.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's massive.
Any of you getting Watch Dogs or Wolfenstein? I'm actually getting Watch Dogs on the release. I still am up in the air if I should get it on PC or Xbox One. I had a couple people marking, who's normally in the chatter on YouTube, said that he was going to get it on PC. I'm going to see if Tense is going to get it on PC. If Tense gets it, then I'll probably more than likely get it on PC. Colin, you getting it?
Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm considering Wolf, but I don't want to pay $60 for a single player.
Single player game? There's no way, dude. Rent it.
I don't like renting things either. I probably just won't play it.
Who would win in a fight? we've already had this challenge.
That doesn't count.
Fight night, I won, and I'm the winner. So this has already been determined.
After you lost like a bajillion times in a row to me.
Doesn't matter.
Only one because
The pupil became the master.
only one because I Mr. Miyagi'd you.
The pupil became the master. What else we got here? Oh, Philips is actually suing Nintendo over a patent dispute, and they do not want Nintendo to sell any of their Wii U's in the U.S. So, I mean, look, Mario Kart 8 is coming out, or is out. I'm actually gonna buy a Wii U when I move, get everything set up. It'll probably be about a month or two in before I actually purchase one and buy the Mario Kart, and then get some stuff so Christy and I can play. But I thought it was hilarious that Philips would go after Nintendo and say, we're going to ban your Wii's in the States if you don't, figure out this patent dispute with us. And to think, Wii U's been struggling hard to, sell their console. And to see this is like, man, that's just like salt in the wounds, right? Like, wow. So I don't know if this deal will go through. Obviously, there's always a lot of patent disputes, typically without merit. So I don't know what's going to happen with this one, but it was certainly something that I thought was interesting. And then the last couple things. Far Cry 4 was announced, launching November 18th. Setting is in the Himalayas. It'll be on Xbox 360. Colin, this is what's annoying to me. It'll be on Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, and PC. Why do they have to release it on Xbox 360 and PS3?
Install base money.
But like Far Cry, it would sell so many copies. The game looked amazing on PC. It will look amazing on PC.
I thought they were gonna do a Blood Dragon standalone. That would have been cool. Like just do a full Blood Dragon game in between. I'm just worried about turnaround on that. That's 2 years from Far Cry 3 to Far Cry 4, and they did the DLC, the Blood Dragon DLC, which is pretty expansive. And they have another DLC, I believe, or no, they have the compilation thing coming out.
Derp says
There's a lot of stuff. It'll be delayed? I think it will. Ubisoft delays lots of shit. They also have the habit of announcing stuff before it's ready to be announced.
let's see here. I'm trying to go back through some questions that I might have missed.
It actually wouldn't surprise me if they did Far Cry 4 on the same engine as Far Cry 3. So like they were already doing the low spec stuff anyways. And like, because they wanted to crank it out in 2 years, they tried to make it just real quickly.
Possibly. Jiro, I didn't actually buy a ship. I'm on a subscription, so I think I get my ship once I hit a certain set of months. So I'm doing the $10 subscription per month on Star Citizen. I thought that would.
You're doing payment installments on your ship?
No, I don't. I just thought it would be better to do monthly and not even think about it rather than getting them 30 and then being done, because I wanted to support them throughout the development of the game. So I was like, this would be better.
Yeah, you're doing layaway.
I'm not doing layaway. I don't even know if I get a ship or not. I just know that if you're on a subscription,
you're doing
after you
layaway.
pass $120, you get something really like cool.
You're doing space layaway?
I'm doing space lay. Okay, Colin says I'm doing space layaway. I have my own reasonings for doing it. I figure you get more money out of me if you do a subscription than me just buying up front.
Doing space layaway?
Did you guys see Godzilla? No, I didn't.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Colin, listen. After you get home from work tomorrow, I'll still be here. My cars will be gone. You gotta pick me up. We can go see Godzilla.
All right, let's do it.
There we go. Godzilla's a done deal.
Are you shipping your car? Or are you selling it?
I'm shipping both cars. Both cars are being shipped. The Subaru and the Sebring. You know what's funny?
You're like, no driving for me.
No driving. Yesterday, Christy chipped the window A rock hit it. Okay, she didn't chip it. A rock hit the window. And there's a big, huge crack in the Subaru right before we leave.
Dang. If you just cracked it once they loaded it, you could have blamed them and taken insurance.
So yeah, that sucks. So Dynasty, no, we haven't seen it, but now we're going to go see it tomorrow. Gajira. Cross-gen games suck. That's why I'm not hyped for Destiny. Oh, that's unfair, Dynasty.
Hey, I'm down with Doom 1 week. Doom and Quake. Danny, Phobos on our team, huge Doom guy.
Loves Doom.
Named himself after Doom Moon. Phobos.
Oh, looks like that might be it, Colin. No more questions. Seeing if I missed anything. Oh, the Crew promo website. Another thing for, I guess, E3 games. The Crew. I was reading it's supposed to be like an MMO for cars. I think there's a game called, like, not Carmageddon, but there's some MMO game that's a car game that released and did awful like 10 years ago.
I can't remember. I think I know what you're talking about, though. What playlist would I add to Titanfall if I had the chance? See, like, there's the for the good of the game, and there's the selfish answer. For the good of the game, it'd be like a solo playlist, Mercenaries, I guess. So it'd be just that. Then I'd have it just to be like CTF and all the good maps and modes for each thing. So like the best attrition map, the best CTF maps, the best hardpoint maps. My greedy thing would be the opposite of that, which is a party-only playlist.
Are you getting Ultra Street Fighter? Yes, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to play it, though. Wasn't Test Drive the driving MMO? No, I don't think so. I wish I remembered it. I don't think that's it, though.
Phobos is an actual moon on Mars. Dirt. That's where it comes from.
I think that's about it, Colin.
All right, let's close her down.
All right.
This is the final Dual Austin stream.
Yeah.
Now we'll be transmitting from 2 different areas of the country again.
Yep.
So, a new set of technical issues and their problems.
Yeah. Not looking forward to that,
If
but
you want to be real.
it's bound to happen once we distance ourselves even further. So, episode 68 in the books. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how you guys like the viewer rant over on YouTube and on Twitch. Be hanging out, looking at what you guys thought about it. Bring it back maybe next week. And now that we figured out a better process, I think that'll be much better instead of the delay.
Fire through chat.
Okay. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys when I'm in Raleigh.
All right. Have a good night, guys.